Hey folks, I think I'm live. So let me just check if the audio and everything is working properly or not. Just give me a sec. I'll be back. So let me just check if properly or not. Yeah, the live seems to be good. No hiccups with audio. Everything seems to be working well. So let's get started. I think I'm a little early by a minute or so. I'll wait for others to join in. And we have a massive stream of questions that came in since we put out the video yesterday. I think we have over 100 comments. I'll try to answer as many as possible. So let's just wait for everyone to join in. Just give us a few minutes. Hey folks, thank you to those folks who are joining in right now. Also on the chat. So yeah, just give us a couple of minutes so that everyone who is wishing to join or who is planning to join could join in. So we'll wait for a couple of minutes before we kick off. Good morning, folks. Thank you for joining on a Sunday morning. Thanks a lot. For some of you, this may be a long weekend of sorts. So yeah. So let's do one thing, folks. What we'll get started with is in the video that we pushed out yesterday, there are a flood of comments out there. There are over 100 comments. Many of them have multiple upvotes and stuff like that. So we'll split our time, the 90 minutes that we have, we'll split it between the comments, especially the top voted questions in the video that I posted yesterday and the live session. So we'll try and balance between both so that we do justice to both sets of people who put in the questions in the comment section yesterday and people who are putting in the questions in the live chat, right? I'll try and balance between both. Okay. So while others join in, let's wait till 10:03. It's 10:01 Indian Standard Time. So I know some of you are joining from US and Europe. Sorry, I understand it's a late night session. Thank you for joining in. We had to cater to we had to take a majority vote, and since the largest number of audience are in India, we had to pick a time that is convenient to them. Sorry for that. So let's get going. Okay, so what I'll do here is I'll try and so first I'll go to the comment section in the video that we posted yesterday, because there are a lot of very interesting comments with lots of upvotes there. The reason we put out that video is because we can get a sense of what questions most people want us to answer. So I'll try to start answering there. And in between, I'll swap and I'll come to the live chat itself, right? And please understand that it's almost impossible for us to answer every question, right? We have hundreds of students who have joined in. It's almost impossible for us to answer hundreds or even thousands of questions in a 90-minute session. So we'll try and do our best. And that's the reason we wanted you to upvote in the video that we posted yesterday. Okay, so it's 10:02, but let's get started. I have the questions here. Okay, so this is a video that we posted yesterday. Let me just refresh it to see if there is any comment that is missing. Okay, so we have 101 comments, I think. Yeah, so let me go one by one. Okay, so I'm simply sorting it by top comments as YouTube finds it the top comment, and I'm going to go down that list. Okay, the first question here, I think this is by Raman, and it says there are lots of upvotes. There are like 26 upvotes for that question. So it has two parts. So I'll go one by one. Okay. I think if I'm not wrong, Raman is an experienced professional. He has two parts in the question. The first question is, after completing the course, how should I prepare for the interview? So Raman, the most important thing is you don't prepare for interviews after you finish the course. You prepare for interviews while doing the course. And the structure we have at Applied AI course right now, as you might already be aware of, but let me just clarify it, is the moment you finish 15 assignments, you'll have one mock interview. This mock interview is by one of our teammates or one of our advisors. And this would consist of 50% programming, basic data analysis, etc., 50% machine learning and deep learning and other stuff that you've already finished in the assignments. So this will give you a flavor of what types of interviews will be there, because you could have two types of interviews broadly, one based on programming, the other based on machine learning and deep learning. So this will give you first flavor of how interviews would be. This would also give us a sense of where you stand. Okay, based on that, we can handhold you and give you pointers on how to improve and things like that. That's the first interview. The second interview typically happens after the 24th assignment, around the 24th assignment. And that's going to be much more deeper, typically 1.5 hours of interview. And that interview will be much more focused on machine learning, deep learning internals. And these are interviews that we conduct either by a member of our team or by one of our advisors who are at top-notch companies, right? So we do this 2 interviews, and through these interviews we give you constructive feedback on where you stand, what you're lacking, where you need to improve, and all that stuff. So and additionally, we have a dedicated full-time team that is responsible to help our students get placed. So they will give you interview tips. They'll tell you what all additional material that you need to prepare based on where you're lacking. For example, I'll give you an example. We've done some mock interviews recently where we found that some students are just copying and pasting code without understanding what's happening internally, okay, to complete assignments. So I believe one of these interviews was done by me, and we asked them simply, what is precision and recall? Okay, very simple question. I asked them, explain me what precision and recall and what precision is, what recall is, and what do they physically mean, and what are they mathematically? A gentleman couldn't answer this question, and we immediately told him, dude, you just can't copy paste code from somewhere without understanding what's happening internally. Then you're just a coding monkey. Okay, it's very, very hard for you to get a job. Even if you get a machine learning job, you would not get a good job. So we gave him constructive feedback and said, please go back and learn concepts conceptually. The whole objective of assignments is not to copy paste code from somewhere. The whole objective of assignments is to help you build the foundation strongly. And because assignments is an important criteria doesn't mean that you'll not understand what precision and recall is, right? So we gave that person constructive feedback and told him, please prepare the math part also, because people will ask these questions, right? In the real interviews, people would ask these questions. And I'm not asking a very hard thing. This is something that we've covered extensively in the course. What precision is, what recall is, and how they work. Where should you use precision recall, where you should use AUC, and all of that stuff, right? It's a very foundational stuff. The gentleman thankfully took that feedback, went back, revised his notes, came back well prepared, and he started improving. Okay, so we give a lot of this constructive feedback to all of our students through the process, number 1. Number 2 is from the time you finish your 15th assignment, we have a dedicated team which is going to help you, mentor you. We also have started these assessment tests, which are mostly self-assessment tests, so that you understand where you stand. Okay, so we have tried, again, it's very hard to simulate. While we do two mock interviews, we want to do more of them so that you get a flavor of how things work out, right? So on that front, we have also started these assessment tests that we start giving to students who have finished 15 plus assignments. These are only for self-assessment. Okay, this will help you understand where you're lacking, what topics you need to revise, and all of that. So your preparation actually starts halfway through the course. And not even that, even at the end of every chapter, we have a bunch of revision questions. If you're comfortable with these revision questions and interview questions, you're preparing for the interview. So I would argue that you're actually preparing for the interview from day 1, right? Because at the end of every Hey, folks, just wanted to know if everything is all right. Just give me a sec. Just give me a sec, folks. Just give me a sec. I think I'm back. 1 second. Just lifting my right hand to ensure that. Just give me a sec, folks. Just give me a sec. I think I'm back. Okay. Sorry, folks. Yeah, summer power cuts. So before the inverter kicked in, I think there was a small delay. If there is any power cut, I'll be back within 2 to 3 minutes. I'm sorry for that. Yeah, sorry for that, because yeah, before the inverter kicks in, I think there is a small delay. Excuse me. So extremely sorry for this. But anyway, let's get going since we are back. Okay. So yeah, somebody's asking on the live that will you help us prepare our resumes also? Yes, we do help you. So that's why we have a full-time team whose sole responsibility is to help you get placed, right? That's why we have the full-fledged team, and it's not just us who are part of the core team who are just doing it, right? So again, on the placements front, we have a co-founder full-time working just to help students get placed. Okay, so your interviews preparation actually starts from day one. Having said that, the second part of the question is, you have a notice. So the question says, as my notice period is 90 days, most of the recruiters are not ready for such a long time. Any solution on this? This all boils down to negotiation. I've done tons of negotiations like this when I was hiring for Amazon and stuff like that. So typically it boils down to two things. How desperate is the company that is hiring you for you? Okay, there are two possibilities here. One, if they're not very desperate, if they're willing to wait, you can negotiate the 90 days and you can say, I'm willing to join. I'm even willing to put in the papers at my current company. You just got to be patient. Or if you want me to join immediately, the better way is most companies agree for a payback, which means imagine you have a 90 days notice period, okay, at let's say company A. And if you're moving to company B sometimes, if they're very desperate and they want you to join immediately, they're willing to pay maybe 60 days worth of compensation back to company A, right? So that company A could relieve you within 30 days and you can join there. It is something that you need to negotiate with HRs at your current company A and the next company B. It all boils down to negotiation, trust me. Okay, there is no hack that I can tell you. And I've seen cases, I've hired people where they had 60 days or 45 days notice period and we wanted them to join within 15 days. Then we would simply offer them that, okay, we are willing to pay your compensation to company A where you're currently working for this 30 days or 45 days. And sometimes that works out because, again, it all depends on the exact circumstances, right? You got to negotiate. There is no shortcut. There is no fancy formula that I can tell you here, unfortunately. This is all about human relations and negotiations, right? But I understand that if companies have 90 days notice period, they also understand, see, if you're applying from company A to company B, it is something that you can negotiate. You just got to be patient. Instead of outright not saying I can't do this, say I'll try and work with the HR at company A, try to work out with them, sit with them, explain your case. Okay, you got to be good to these people. You don't want to be harsh or you don't want to be rude. Just be good, be kind, and inform them your situation. Most likely one of these two parties will budge, either the HR at company A or HR at company B, or your hiring manager or your manager at company A and company B. They will work it out, and you can, I mean, I've seen a lot of situations like this and they can be made to work out because I've been in one of the negotiation positions there. Okay, so that's what I would recommend in this case. So just a sec. Okay, so this is question one. The next question here, so let me just look at the live chat also here. Yeah, there are some questions about roles and responsibilities of data science team, etc. We'll come there. Okay, we'll come there. Okay, so folks, yeah, we'll try and answer as many questions as possible. As I told you, it's almost impossible to answer everything, to be honest and fair with you. Let's go to the comment section in the video that we posted yesterday. The second most popular in the ranking scheme is what is the scenario of machine learning jobs for freshers in India? What can they expect and what can they do in order to get into those roles? Very good question. Actually, again, there is also a repeated question of very similar types where people have been asking that, are there enough roles for freshers with, or even for experienced folks with no prior background in machine learning and data science? So the whole logic here is in the marketplace itself, while companies would always want people who would prefer. Imagine if you have two candidates, candidate A and candidate B. Let's assume both of them have the same skill set. Both of them are roughly very similar in terms of their skills. If person A has 2 to 3 years experience in data science versus person B, who has 0 years experience in data science, either as a fresher or he has experience elsewhere, they would certainly prefer candidate A, right? Because he has prior experience in data science and machine learning. That's obvious. Again, here the condition is both person A and person B have the same skill sets. On the other hand, if you're person B who has more skill sets and who can showcase his or her skills better through the portfolio of projects that you've done and through the strength of the code bases that you've written, or through the blogs that you've written, or through the videos you've written and stuff like that, right? Through the videos you've made and all of that stuff, if you can build a stronger portfolio. Let's take two cases, right? Case A is a person with 2 to 3 years prior experience. Case B is a person with 0 years data science machine learning experience or overall 0 years experience. But if person B is more skilled than person A, and if person B can showcase that, and the best way to showcase is to work on 3 to 5 projects. Take real world problems, solve them end to end. So please don't take shortcuts. Please don't just solve the Kaggle competition problem. Okay, while that is the basic thing, solving problems end to end is more important. Okay, there are a lot of people that I've seen who can only build some model on top of data and give you the output. That's not sufficient. For a good data scientist or machine learning engineer, the end-to-end stuff is required. What does the end-to-end mean? End-to-end means you start with the business problem, not the machine learning problem. You start with what is the business problem that the business wants me to solve. Look at what are the metrics that the business cares about. Okay. Also find out what types of models or what types of metrics should you optimize for, right? Then do all of your basic data analysis, building of your models, and don't leave as soon as you build a model. Then work on how to productionize these models, how to maintain these models in production, how to update these models in production, right? Write some production code. So the best way to showcase your end-to-end skills is to write a blog. Okay, and the blog should contain everything. You start with what is the business problem, who is the customer here, and what is the value proposition that you're creating. Okay, and what are the metrics that the business owners care about. Okay, and what is it you're optimizing for in your machine learning model, and how does your machine learning model optimize for what the business cares about. And then go ahead and do all the data analysis, all the modeling, everything, which is just one part of the bigger equation. A lot of people think just building a fancy model is all I have to do. No, sorry. That's only one component of the whole data science life cycle. And that's what we focus on at Applied AI Course. We have done tons of live sessions, tons of recorded videos on productionization of models, how to deploy models in production, how to update models in production, all of those things. They're very, very important because that's what you would do in the real world, right? That's part and parcel of your day-to-day life, right? So my suggestion is if you're a fresher, you got to showcase your skills better than somebody who is experienced. Then you certainly have an upper edge. And of course, you got to work on harder problems. For example, let me also give you this, right? And the 3 to 5 problems that you solve, try and pick various domains. Don't solve all the problems in the same domain. Don't solve all computer vision problems. Don't solve all NLP problems. Pick one problem from computer vision, one problem from NLP, one problem from speech or audio, right? One problem from traditional data, right? Traditional tabular data. Okay, one problem which is more data analysis heavy. Lots of analysis, not so much of model building, right? So by having a portfolio which is very broad, right, you will have, and of course, the harder the problems you pick, the more exposure you can show. Okay, the more versatility, the more breadth of experience you can show. And of course, look at, if I get 2 candidates, like as a hiring manager myself, and even at Applied AI Course, we've hired people who are freshers, who have shown that skill more than experienced people who cannot show that skill to me. Okay, so a lot of hiring managers have that. If you can show skills, your chances are as good, actually even better than experienced professionals, right? So it all boils down to how much you can showcase your skills, the strength of your portfolio of projects, how well you've done your portfolio of projects. That's why at Applied AI Course, we give so much importance to assignments, because through your assignments, you learn to solve these real world problems end to end, right? And we even have 2 case studies that we help you with, minimum 2 case studies, and preferably more. If you're willing to put in the effort, we're willing to help you through that journey, right? And these portfolios will help you get significantly more exposure and also more visibility, and more importantly, an ability to showcase your skills. Put in your code, put in your blogs,